devastating floods made worse by deforestation by Indonesia government in our region took the life.
Persoalan kisruh JKA dan penanganan kesehatan serta hak para penyintas bencana di Aceh tidak hanya jadi konsumsi dalam negeri. Tengku Fajrikrung dan Tengku Mudacot melaporkan kisruh di Aceh ke Forum Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa atau PBB di New York dalam agenda United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues atau UNPFII ke-25 yang berlangsung di markas besar PBB New York mulai 21 April hingga 1 Mei 2026. Delegasi Aceh Tengku Fajrikrung mendapat kesempatan berbicara pada tanggal 23 April 2026. Dirinya mengangkat persoalan isu kisruh Jaminan Kesehatan Aceh atau JKA, serta persoalan penanganan para korban bencana alam atau para pengungsi yang dinilai tidak maksimal hingga saat ini. Berikut pernyataan Tengku Fajrikrung di hadapan Forum PBB di New York.
Thank you, Madam Chair, brothers and sisters of indigenous people. My name is Tengku Fajrikrung, representing the Aceh Sumatra. I speak today under this year's theme, Indigenous Health in the Context of Conflict. For us in Aceh Sumatra, this is not a discussion. This is our daily reality. The current removal of JKA by the government in Indonesia to our region, which is our regional health support for the indigenous people, has left many families without access to the basic health care. Mothers cannot afford treatment. Children are left without care. Illness is no longer just a health issue. It has become a question of a survival. At the same time, at the end of last year, devastating floods made worse by deforestation by Indonesia governments in our region took the life of so many our people in Aceh. Entire community were destroyed as massive mudslide came from mountain, buried their thousands of homes. Families lost everything. And what did the Indonesian government do? Nothing. Many were left without sufficient food, without shelter, and without protection. As we were delivering aid to these people, the Indonesian military waited along the street to block the assistance we were sending. They beat some people, fainted, and others suffered head injuries with bleeding wounds from the beating. When people are left without health care, without land security, and without support in time of disaster, their health collapses, not only physically, but emotionally and spiritually. This is why we said health cannot exist without dignity, and dignity cannot exist without self-determination. The right to self-determination is recognized under United Nations Declaration on the Right of Indigenous People. It affirms that indigenous people has the right to determine their own future. For Aceh and West Papua, this is not politics, it is a survival. We respectfully call on the United Nations and member states to listen to our voice and our people, ensure that humanitarian protection reach the indigenous community without delays, and support pathways that allow our people to freely determine our own future so we can protect our own.
Sementara itu, salah seorang perwakilan dari Konsulat Jenderal Republik Indonesia di New York yang tidak disebutkan nama dan memperkenalkan dirinya dalam forum tersebut membantah apa yang disampaikan oleh delegasi Aceh. Berikut pernyataan dari perwakilan Indonesia di forum PBB.
Madam Chair, we thank the special reporter for his briefing. Allow me to take this opportunity to address the following. First, the claim that Jaminan Kesehatan Aceh or Aceh Health Insurance Program has been removed is simply misleading and incorrect. It is being reformed and better targeted towards those most in need, particularly the poor, the vulnerable, and patients with catastrophic illnesses. It is not a dismantlement, but a necessary reform to improve the quality of health services. Second, Indonesia has undertaken a large-scale, nationally coordinated response to severe floods affecting Aceh and surrounding areas. The facts on the ground tells a story of a government that responded with urgency and commitment. Over 50,000 personnel and extensive assets, including helicopters and aircrafts, were mobilized to ensure rapid delivery of humanitarian assistance, healthcare, and evacuation support. As recovery has progressed, the number of displaced persons have significantly decreased, with affected residents gradually returning home as basic services are restored. The situation has now transitioned from emergency response to recovery, guided by presidential instructions and presidential decree, which established a dedicated task force for rehabilitation and reconstruction. A comprehensive disaster recovery master plan is being finalized to ensure coordinated, resilient, and inclusive recovery. Third, Indonesia remains open to constructive international cooperation while ensuring recovery efforts are nationally led, well-coordinated, and above all, responsive to the needs of our people. We believe this forum is at its most valuable when it fosters honest and solution-oriented dialogue, and we would respectfully encourage all participants to uphold that standard. Indonesia welcomes constructive engagement on disaster resilience. While we remain open to dialogue, we must express our deep concern over the selective and politically motivated framing of a humanitarian situation, including with the situation in Papua, to advance a self-determination agenda, an approach that is inconsistent with Article 46 of UNDRIP. In that spirit, we would like to request through you, Madam Chair, that our collective strength lies in constructive dialogue, mutual respect, and solutions that truly serve the people, and not the opposite. Thank you.
Tim Liputan melaporkan untuk Puja TV.